I'm so excited to have you on. Honestly, I just La Perla at the moment is just it's been giving me life. It's such a beautiful song.
Oh,
I've been
I'm
listening
very.
to it on loop.
Oh, I'm so happy that it does to you, because it has like La Perla has also like this time was not the machines talking for me, it was me. I was in a situation where I was very vulnerable, sharing, because sometimes I think that our community doesn't like to share our pain. So in a kind of way, I wanted to create like a bubble in between me and my father that was at that pain at the time, but trying him to speak out to me what was like hurting him about about, of course, being afraid of dying, or the thought of dying, or like some secrets that he had that he needed to talk about. And I wanted him also to be vulnerable. So when I was writing the text and also like the melodies, I was singing to him and he was singing to me, and it was something very touching. And I say always, like in life, like there's no, in life there is never a happy ending, you know. There is no happy ending in life, but there is hope to somehow survive and make some days happier than other ones, you know.
Yeah.
So what La Perla is for me is something like, it's painful, but it's also hope. It has like these things that are always working together, like, and that was kind of like in the lyrics, it's like, you and me, we both are alone, trying to change, but also trying to forget what is happening around us. But we want to change, you know, because we want more. I think right now I'm more able to talk with my friends, but real talking, you know, like saying, like when they say, yeah, I'm fine, I'm okay. And I said, like, are you really fine? Are you really okay? Like, let's talk, you know. At the past, maybe if I know that will sound a little bit weird, but in the past, I think I was a selfish person, because sometimes I didn't took enough time to sit down and be there more, to listen also to acquaintances or strange people that needed to talk, you know.
Yeah.
So like after all this change also with my family, my dad make me realize that I have now I have like I have like a mission, like I need to somehow, if it's on writing back, on listening to people outside, listening to the problems, also to write music, to say, to somehow opening the conversation when we are with your girls, with your friends, or with, say like, oh, that's sad, oh, listen what she's saying, oh, and that you open up about a conversation. So for me right now, I'm recording my new album, and that it's gonna be more like Sofia is talking and not her machines, because at the past I was very introverted, and I was always letting the machines talk for me and not my voice, you know.
Yeah.
I was, because I didn't have anything to say at that moment. I was like younger, naive. It was about having a good time, and I wanted just the people that listen to my music to have a good time. But now I feel that it changed. Like I'm not that person anymore, you know. So I need to give back to my community as well, you know.
Yeah, it's deeper than that, isn't it? And I think when you go through loss, and you know, we all in so many ways in the last year have dealt with loss of people, or loss of our freedom, or loss of, you know, so many losses and so much grief, I think, for people. And I think that's probably why this new track La Perla has just connected in such a powerful way to people, because it has that joyful, hopeful feeling, but it's very warm, but it's also kind of bittersweet. And that's in a sense of what you were saying about, you know, where the track comes from, that you were writing it looking at the sea and thinking of your father.
So that's basically the story about it.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got Sofia Kourtesis on the line, and I'm so happy to speak to you. There's so much stuff to cover, I feel, certainly with this new EP and what you've been up to. But so you're Peruvian, your family's based in Lima, but you have been based in Berlin, but you're currently in Panama.
Yeah, so basically this is like a long story. Like, so I am from Peru. My father was from Greece. He met my mother in Peru. My father was an activist and a lawyer and a politician. So on the 90s, at the time of Fujimori, when there was a big dictatorship and a lot of problems with militaries, my father was in charge of bringing him to jail. But then he was always, I don't know how to say this word in English. He was like, people wanted to giving him some money to get some of the militaries free that was like killing some innocent people from the left, some students. So my father rejected to be then at the time a judge because he knew that he would bring the family in danger. So what they did was like, till everything come down, to send us to Germany. So that's how my relationship with Germany started, from very early years. So when I was back, my family lost nearly everything. So they were really struggling to put us in very good schools and everything. And as I had a European passport, and like, and in Germany, the universities are for free, I wanted to be a filmmaker, because all of like, also like the side of my mom was like film directors and everything, and I wanted to be a film director. I always wanted to be a film director because I love movies. Yeah. So I decided that for me, my way of don't giving them more financial problems will be go to Germany and start studying there and work as a bartender or as a waitress, pay for my own studies, so they don't have to go more on debt, you know. So I came back to Germany with 17. My mom signed me a paper where I was allowed to stay in a friend's house, and that's how my journey started. I started to be a bartender, to study film. But I was a bartender in a music institution. It's like a music big hall where like a lot of artists play. And from the beginning, my dad was also in a rock band. So from small on, he teach me how to play some instruments and sing and how to be musical. So when I was working as a bartender, I was looking all of these amazing bands, like hip hop bands, indie bands, and everything. And then I got like this sense that you have in your blood, this little, I know this, I can, and then I fall in love with music again after a rough time, you know. And then because I was having my badges, I was a bartender, I was always like from the side and like saying like, what kind of instrument is this guy playing? And everybody was saying like, oh, this groupie is weird. He's looking all the time on his finger and on his keyboard. And it was funny. And then during that time, all of my tips, I started to save it to buy vinyl, because I said like, you can make money out of DJing, and with the money out of DJ, I can buy my music gear. So that's how it started. Yeah. So I moved back to Germany, was 17. Now I'm in my 30s, and I have to say that I'm very happy that I have my heart is Peruvian.
Yes.
But my discipline and my like the way that I mold as a person is also a little bit European and German. So it's a mix of both. In Peru, I had the love, but I didn't have the liberty. I was not free enough to express myself, to be a feminist or an activist. Yeah. I was always judged. But in Germany, they gave me the freedom to express myself and the tools, and they give me the opportunity to voice it out, you know. So I'm very glad for the roots that I have from Peru. That is my heart, my passion, my love. But I'm also very proud of being a person living in Germany and having all these opportunities that this country gives to me. So yeah. I will say I am between two worlds, and I try to mix the perfect match of two worlds. Yeah. And once a year, I always come to find myself at home again and travel around Latin America to get inspired on making music, you know.
Yeah. That's so interesting because Berlin and Germany, you know, is so creative. There's so much creativity, and like Berlin to me is, I feel like that's in, and London is in some aspects, but Berlin is a real city of expression and freedom. You can be whoever you want to be in Berlin, can't you? And electronic music as well, you know, it's so rich. So was that a massive influence on you as you started to try, you know, as you started
100%.
music? Yeah.
100%. After the live shows, I always went to Berlin, of course, to Berghain. I experienced, like, seriously, fuck, I love that place because you can be there 2 days. You don't even have to take drugs or anything, and it's just good music, one good DJ after the other one. It's like being in a music museum. That's like, and I came in the best part of the city, because right now with rentification, there's like a new building, people are buying it, clubs are dying, but I came in the perfect time where there was underground parties in, you know, your neighbor house, a lot of punk people, a lot of everything, naked people, like everything, and it was my mind was blowing, and the electronic music was so good produced in Berghain. Like, I will always say this, I knew I was in love with Berlin when I met my dentist. I had an operation. He had to took my tooth, the wisdom tooth out, and I saw his, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word, I saw his penis and everything. He was naked. He was naked
in Berghain.
In Berghain. And I said, like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? And he said, like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? Well, I'm dancing and I'm coming in a few hours to get my wisdom tooth out from you. And you are here showing your willy to everybody and having sex in the dark room. And I said, like, what? This is Berlin, darling. And on the next day.
That is amazing.
And the next day, he took my wisdom teeth out. I was happy. He was happy. Like, this could never happen in Peru.
I know.
Never.
And
I said, like Berlin is my home. I love it. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm dying there, but I'm going to stay there for a bit longer.
Yeah. Berghain, it is like you say, I love that, a music museum. You go in and you just can't leave.
You just can't leave. It's so good,
so
right?
Good. Like,
it's so good.
Even, you know, there's two quite contrasting worlds, like Panorama Bar, and then the downstairs it can be quite, you know, heavy down there, the music. But then you go up to up to Panorama Bar. We were in there hours and hours, and we were just, because I've only been once, and I was just so, I've been to quite a few other clubs actually in Berlin, but hadn't ever gone to Berghain until the last time I went to visit a friend who lives out there.
So good, right?
And it was like that moment where you get past what I call face patrol, you know, like they decide whether you're going in
because
or not.
Because you also, you have also like this, right now I'm really summary. I like this, they will say, like, Sofia, what the fuck are you wearing today?
Yeah, you have
like,
to wear
you have to be like all black. Like it's so amazing. It's like I used to run a club called Chalet. It was also like a techno and house club that was amazing with a backyard garden, and we like this all influenced me because it was like hours of playing music, like the sun coming down, all the neighbors dancing, and it was beautiful. I miss the time so much. I think I miss it since, like,
I know it's going to be so great when we can get back to it. I loved it. I remember we walked past the cloakroom area, and then we were just like right, play it cool,
just play cool, and we're all black and put like some like very like it's so funny, it's so funny. And right now it's actually also like when I come to South America, the way of me dressing is very different when I'm in Germany. I'm all black, like it's my soul, like I'm only wearing black. But when I'm in Peru, I'm like, right now in a few hours I'm gonna go in because I like to surf, and it's like I'm more like I'm wearing yellow, and some of my friends are saying like, what the fuck? Why are you wearing? What is happening to you? So like, I'm a Latin American, can help it. It's whoa. So it's very funny how your mood change a little bit by the places you are, right?
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
so crazy.
Yeah, I saw on your Instagram that had you been in Peru before surfing? I was the pangs of envy. Oh, it's such a grey day in London today. It's raining and it's miserable. And what I would do to be on a beach surfing in Lima. Oh.
Yeah. But it's also, for me, it's not only like surfing, it's like taking care of my mommy, like making her food, making
home time.
Time. I'm doing a lot of home edit. I'm being very boring in Lima. I'm sometimes like cleaning everything, like reorganizing her house and all these things. Yeah. So I quite enjoy it, because when I'm back in Berlin, it's the timing is so fast. The city is fast. It's like, go to the studio, go work, go do this, now, interviews, blah, blah, blah. It's like very fast. And in Berlin, in Peru, I'm more like Buffalo Soldier, more like, so it's very funny. So I'm always finding myself listening to some weird music either. So that's funny.
Yeah, sort of time to sort of reconnect and recharge and things for you.
Yeah.
And so, we did speak a little bit at the beginning about La Perla, which is the first taster of this second EP, Fresia Magdalena.
Yes.
Which is coming out on Technicolour on the 19th of March. And we just kind of spoke a bit there about where the track came from, and that it was kind of about the sea and how that's a meditative thing for you. So can you tell me a little bit about once you had the inspiration for the track, which was obviously incredibly personal for you, how did the track come together? Actually, kind of what was the process that it went under?
So basically, you have first the field recordings, then you have to record it through live, with a normal microphone, and then you start scratching, using some MPCs, looking for some melodies. In this track, I work also a lot with my voice, and I looped it a lot of times. So you have this. This is like my father and me. It's like looping a lot, and it's for example, for this track, I sampled also a lot of melodies.
Yeah.
So because the way that I do music right now, because now it's gonna change with my next album, is a lot of loopings from my favorite movies, some melodies that I listen, putting it in an MPC or on live, and then starting to create somehow the sound. But with this song, it was very different. It was more like using my voice also as an instrument and putting a bass drum and all the things in between
into it. And it was the first time you've actually properly sung and not just sampled your voice, wasn't it?
Exactly. So this song is more like, it's less sampling, but it's more looping and working with my voice as an instrument.
And has that given you a kind of a newfound, not that you were ever probably not confident with using your voice, I don't know the reasons for not singing previously, but has it given you that sense now of that's the direction you want to take? Because it sounds beautiful.
So right now, the direction that I want to get is more composing and writing. If you see, I'm not a professional musician like John Hopkins or Coldplay. They can from the scratch write big compositions and write it on the piano. I can play the piano, but it's the way that I express myself was through my machines. You have an MPC, you have a lot of melodies, and then you start jamming till it hurts right, and record it. And then maybe I use a lot of children toys, field recordings from my phone, and all these things. But right now, the way that I'm making music is changing completely. In 1 week, I'm going to be in a studio, composing the melodies, writing the melodies for an Afro-Peruvian chorus. They're old legends. They're more than 70s. So I cannot come with my MPC and say okay, let's jam now. No, I have to start work more as a composer and write the melodies and write the text and write the lyrics. So right now I'm evolving also as an artist. I'm not making a bass drum and boom boom like a like a normal house track or techno track. Right now it's more like I'm finding my way to being a composer.
Yeah, yeah. But
So it
isn't it,
changed.
yeah, but isn't it amazing really? Because I've started to learn a bit about Ableton and
Yeah,
so I'm at a very, very, very early stage of sound
yeah,
collage, I guess. So
yeah,
using samples, building tracks and making
yeah,
some stuff. But you're in a much much more advanced stage of it where you are bringing in field recordings and all of the kind of like musical elements to it. But isn't it amazing that you can make a track like La Perla, which, you know, it just lives and breathes and is so so direct, kind of like hit to the soul, I think. And that's, you know, a lot of that is with electronic tools, you know. So
yes.
it's
I
amazing, like even though you wouldn't go into a composition session with your MP3, you know, like to be like, right,
No,
jam.
no.
But it is a whole world of like, it's amazing what you can do with
Electronic music.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's a lot, but it's like also like if you see when you compose on your computer, you have a lot of plugins, you have a lot of synthesizers, a lot of machines that are helping you. And that's the beauty in it, and that makes also it's like sometimes easier. But right now I think I'm challenging myself to to first compose and then mix it with electronic music, you know, first make the composition
Yeah,
without because actually the normal way how you will do or how we do music when we have our like live, we have our sound cards, we have the machines that we want to work with, and we have the samples, we have an MPC or whatever we have, or Casio or whatever we have. But when you go with like an Afro Peruvian chorus into a studio, I'm not gonna take my computer. They're gonna be they because every little percussion needs an extra microphone and an extra mixing. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna be like a little bit like, I cannot say like this because it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna be directing a little bit the orchestra, you know, and then singing, and then I cannot mix and record when I'm singing with my orchestra. So it has to be more professional. It will have other people, and that will sound first as a pop song, and I will take this kind of pop song or composition then after to my normal way of making music that is like including the playfulness of the electronic music in it. So right now I'm getting one step forward, but I will never, because I really started very DIY. I started to record with water kettles, you know, like or like a very good place where you can download some very good samples is Sound.org. Sound. I don't know if I'm pronounced like I'm gonna message you some ways where you can record amazing samples and just scratch from there, because it's like the way how you do it is, it just has to feel right for you, how you feel, how you do it. And if it feels right for you, there are gonna be people that are gonna engage with it. You know, it's like you don't have to be like a master composer or like to reach people, but you have something to say, you know. You can say it, and you can say it through your machines, or you can sing it, you know. Like there's a lot of musicians that I respect with all my heart, a lot of money, but sometimes I feel the composition, the production is the best, but I don't feel the message, you know. I don't feel what they're saying. So I think sometimes they want to create something so mainstream that they get lost in that way. But the key is like, if you feel right with it, and if you have something to say, the people are gonna listen. And it's no matter if it's a DIY song just with a microphone and no plugins, you know.
You talk about field recordings. I was wondering how you go about that. Is it literally, are you constantly listening? You're like, oh, and then you get your iPhone notes out, and then, or do you actually sometimes go on like a full, because you say you're in Panama at the moment to gather field recordings.
So basically I go and work through the city and work to the areas that I knew there is very like a lot of people living there. And I wanted to create one Buena Vista Social Club atmosphere, you know. So that's what I was trying to create and trying to somehow to build it up. And that was of the things that I always take my phone or like sometimes a more expensive field recording machine that I don't have. But right now I'm just working with my phone, with a normal iPhone, and it's working perfectly. And I go and say like, qué hermoso lo que están cantando. And I go make the conversation, and they say like, I'm sorry to ask you, but I just think it's so beautiful. Do you mind if I record you? And they always say, por supuesto, yeah. And then we exchange numbers or emails, or I ask like if, and then of course I need to have the contact and ask for permission if I can use it. And they say like, por supuesto. They're always happy, you know, because they're older women. Their life is singing, and like, you know, the children are gone, that granddaughters are not coming because of the pandemic, so they're all in balcony singing. So that's beautiful.
Yeah. And so how long are you going to be in Panama for then?
Just 3 days, and then I have to go back and prepare like the studio time for Peru.
Yeah. And so with that, is that going to be for a debut album as Sofia Kourtesis, or is that a different project?
I'm done with EPs. I cannot do any more EPs. The next like short, like I have more to say, so I'm working on an album right now.
But that's good, I think, because you've done 2 EPs. This will be the second, and it's a good introduction. And then bring the album next. So that's amazing. So you're going to be using this choir on the record. Wow. That's going to be amazing.
So it's going to be like, I'm always say I'm very cinematographic. So my next music, I want it to sound like a Pedro Almodovar movie meets Guillermo del Toro. So it's going to be dramatic, but also very womanly, and also they have the masculine aspects too, and it's going to be like very playful, and like with choruses and some gospel in it.
Wow, amazing. And then the title of this EP that we're getting in March is Fresia Magdalena, and I was reading that Fresia, is it? How would you say your mum? Fresia is the name of your mum, and then Magdalena is the district that your family live in, Lima.
So basically my mom is an activist, and she works at Magdalena and has fight a lot for gender equality and for the rights of our LGBT community. And she has like political party that is very left side that fights a lot for the right of the people of Agriar, and of course we have like also like the first transgender indigenous woman also running for Congress, so we're very active in this aspect. So it's very inspiring for me to see her in her age having this the force to help others to make a change. So I wanted to dedicate it to her.
Yeah, that's so nice. And you've spoken about how, she's a huge inspiration. I think we've had International Women's Day. I think a lot of people will say their mum is their biggest inspiration, but it sounds like she does some really incredible work. Wow.
But the thing is, like, for me, it's like not only my mom, I think every woman in communities they're getting oppressed, they are my heroes. The ones, for example, the indigenous women in the Amazons are getting killed because they're trying to fight for the restaurant. They are my heroes. But the voice is not getting heard because we're not giving them the platform to do it. So I see also sometimes as my mission to try to use my platforms to give them a louder voice. So we know about this aspect. So for me, like, my inspiration are all these women that even have like a small community of 30 people, and in the pandemic they get money from all over and make meals for 50 families so they don't starve, you know. These are the women that I respect. Of course, they're like a lot of women that I admire, Ocasio-Cortez, for example, like an example of our new generation woman that is giving some fire into in the States. But I guess for me, the most impressive and women that I really take my head off and is like the women in small communities giving everything so people eat. You know? So in Latin America, this very something that I say again, this is a place of heart. Germany sometimes it's a little bit different. It's like, I think sometimes I can mix the both countries and shake it and make a new out of it.
Then it would be perfect.
That would be perfect somehow. Yeah, and we put the UK too. We shake the three countries together. Yeah,
a sprinkling of the UK as well.
Of course, the UK have to be in it, and we shake it. Yeah.
It sounds like your mum, passed down and instilled in you a lot of, kind of strength and, and you lost your father. So I imagine she's been very strong through that whole thing. How did she raise you? Like, what do you think were the qualities that she was very kind of influential
She both teach me that the word is going to hit me hard to the floor every time. I would get punches every time. But the strategy and that I have to learn is every time I get to the floor that I have to stand up. And I'm going to be hidden again, but I have to stand up. I'm going to be hidden again, and I have to stand up. And it's not about how many times I get hit, it's how many times I stand up and I still keep fighting. So she said, this word is a cruel word. No matter, there's a lot of people dying, like everything is a disaster. But if you have the right community, and if you give back, and if you try to give something out of there, and you keep getting hit and keep working, then you have it, and then you're gonna make it through all the problems, because all the problems is like, and we need to know the problems to open the door, to get all the problems, to have the information what we are fighting against, So you're gonna, we both are gonna get hits all the time. It's in work, at love, in health, but all the time when you're very down, you have to focus, mentally focus, and say like, okay, this is gonna pass. I'm gonna go over.
Get back up.
Get back up.
So get back to it before you can
Always.
even think. It's like if you fall off a bike or have a car crash or something, just get in the car again.
And we are strong. We are very strong. The thing of the woman, we are so fucking strong. It's unbelievable. We're strong as hell. Remember always, we women, we have the control, girl. We have the control.
Like, you do you, girl.
You have the control.
Live stuff, hopefully maybe this year sometime. Will you be able to kind of perform these new tracks live? I'm excited for you. What I imagine the room to be like when you play La Perla. I'm excited for you. I want to be there. I want to hear it live.
When I'm in the UK,
cry on the dance floor.
Oh, thank you. So when I'm in the UK, I hope to see you for a cup of tea and a cake.
I'd love that.
It would be so lovely.
I would really love that.
It would be so lovely.
So are you putting together some kind of live show if you can perform?
Yeah, I'm preparing it. Yes. Yeah, I want to be prepared when life starts slowly.
Yeah. And are you going to be coming back to Berlin anytime soon, or are you
in 3 weeks?
Stay? In 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, my babies are waiting. I have 2 cats, and they're like getting crazy.
Like, where's Mummy? She needs to come back. Sophia, thank you so much for chatting. It's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you so much for taking your time, and I hope we meet for a cup of tea.
We will. It's happening. Okay. I'm going to hold you to it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.